Hello. Good evening. Etc. and so forth. I can hear my voice. I can put those away. Put on my actual headphones. Ah. Here we go. Now, I ought to warn you, I have a little tiny headache. So, hopefully, this game doesn't make it into a great big headache. But, we'll see. Um, true to my word, believe it or not, I was looking into orbital maneuvers. Like, how do you set up and execute an orbital maneuver? What are all the icons on the screen? And the wiki wasn't too helpful. Especially when you start getting into, like, give me the basics of how to get into orbit. And it's just a screen of formulas. And it's like, here you go, basic orbital functions. It's like, oh, thanks for my future job at NASA. Kind of a downside. It's like the open source idea of documentation, right? That no one can document in a way that most people can understand. Anyway, I think we're actually going to back up and run a training. Now, this Go for Orbit training mission says we're going to use a ship that we built. I don't want a tutorial on building a ship. I just want an orbit. So let's see if it gives us the ship. Okay, good. Hopefully this won't take long, but I just want... I was able to glean from the documentation, the wiki, that there's a bunch of buttons up here that we can use to, like, actually terminate and recover our ship, so could probably use that a little more often. See? It's like, oh, by the way, you can there's a menu up here. What was I gonna say? Oh, that on our nav ball here, when we are in orbit, we want the green indicator with the dot in the middle. That means that's the prograde route, angle. That's the prograde direction that we need to apply thrust in. Delta V, I suppose, is the technical term. I can't remember if we were flying toward that, because there's a green with an X through it, and that's retrograde. That's for slowing down. So you have your prograde in one direction, retrograde in the polar opposite, and then you have a few other degrees, I guess, angles for adjusting your orbit up and down, left and right, and all the degrees of freedom. But we're not going to worry about that right now. I just want to make sure I know how to control a ship in orbit. Today we will tackle an absolutely essential skill for any space program, getting to orbit. Without the skill, we might as well be teaching you Kerbal Flight Simulator. I'm not one for flight simulators, but I will say the very, very first computer my family had was a Commodore Amiga 1000, and on that was a flight simulator. And I'm fairly certain it was the flight simulator. Like, it wasn't just someone's idea of a flight simulator. It was like the flight simulator that everybody knows and loves. I'm going to look this up real quick. We'll see if it, Flight Simulator 2. It wasn't, yep, this is the one. So if you look up Flight Simulator 2 Amiga, Google it, look up the images. The pictures of this cockpit are exactly what I remember from way back in the day. Maybe it's not like Microsoft's Flight Simulator. Did Microsoft buy Flight Simulator? Probably, right? Yep, it's the same one. The original developer was Sublogic, and that's the name on the box for the Amiga Flight Simulator that I played. Okay, so anyway, kind of a small story, side story. That's my first simulator game. So maybe if is Flight Simulator 10, does it cost like $1 billion to unlock everything? Maybe we play that someday. Anyway, I digress. Back to this. I trust you've already checked the other flight tutorials. Well, we know how to build a ship, so we're just gonna go for it. Alrighty then, let's do it. As I said, the plan here is to get our vessel and pilot safely into orbit, and as with the suborbital flight we did previously, we will follow a curved path to get to the point where we can circularize our orbit. Today's gravity turn, however, will be much shallower than the path that we followed previously, so that we build speed towards orbit. So the rocket that we have in our save, we're probably not going to be able to get into actual orbit because we don't have enough fuel. If we could rewind time a little bit, which it seems like if you load a game, you can no longer revert your flight. I want to confirm that. Kerbal space program revert flight disabled. Maybe there's someone going, what is causing my revert flight to be grayed out? Are you throttled up? The answer, no. If it was mid-flight when you started flying it, like you went to the Space Center and then back, you can't revert anymore. Which we did, I think. Once you're out of atmosphere, you are unable to revert. Interesting. This is from 2013, so this could be like super old information. People are like, it could also be because you're not, you haven't clicked on the actual ship. You've clicked on a part. You cannot revert flight on a part. Decoupling shouldn't do that. What does disable is exiting the flight and going back in, be it loading the game. That's what I thought. The only thing that we did different that flight was I loaded to get back up to before the peak of the apoapsis, the peak point of our orbit. What was I saying before? we're not, yeah, that ship is probably not going to be able to make it into orbit because we don't have enough fuel. Because, oh, I remember, because they're talking about a gravity turn. So when you're using solid rocket fuel, you can't turn it off. And the way our ship was built, it just went up. Got something in my eye. It just went up. We couldn't turn. You're supposed to angle your ship in flight to, like, you know, get into orbit, but we just went straight up, and that's not good. This is different from how the Kerbal pilots of old did it. They would head straight up and then hang a right, as if the air was soup or something. Soup. We'll be turning early and smoothly, but don't turn too far or you might be mistaken for one of those low-flying turkeys. As with the previous flight, I will place a target marker on the nav ball to show you the optimal velocity vector, but do note that this indicator won't be around normally. It is not usually used the way this tutorial uses it. Oh, good. I'll also display some technical information about your path as you go to help you learn the right way to get there. Set throttle to max. Z and X is like full open, full closed. Shift and control, I remembered, are manual control. Right, you should now see a marker on the nav ball. So it feels like we should just ignore the icon for the moment. I'm going to turn on SAS. Whoa! This is the stuff that I'm used to. We haven't unlocked it yet. All right. Hit space. Ready to go to our orbit. If you want Valentina to fly the curve for you, you can enable SAS and set the mode to target after lift off. Interesting. I'm also taking a note of the design here. Got some batteries and solar panels. We've got retro thrusters. So that's the liquid fuel guy. How is this ship launching? Okay, they want us to just use liquid fuel on the way up too, along with the boosters. Oh, these are also liquid fuel. Oh. Wait. No. Solid fuel booster. Liquid fuel engine. Liquid fuel tanks. Another little RCS fuel tank for the little thrusters. No heat shield. So they put decouplers in their own stages. I'm trying to take some notes. All right. I feel like we can click this little dude once we get into orbit, and she will autopilot for us. Target. Time to start pitching down. Follow that target marker. Don't worry about your throttle. You just need to pay attention to the target marker and the proper times to stage. This is our first encounter with Valentina. She's a 5-star pilot in this version. In this reality. Get ready to eject. They immediately explode. You're doing great! Keep following the target indicator. Get ready to stage again to discard the lower stage. I haven't got a clear answer. The booster is wedged. Something went wrong. You're way off course. It's because it didn't separate. Can we revert this flight? Good grief. SAS. And go. Target. Anyway, I was saying before we were so rudely interrupted by a separation that did not go according to plan. Every tutorial says to go east once you get up to about 100 meters. But I don't know why you go east. That's the problem with tutorials again, right? They'll tell you what to do, but not explain why. But then if you go try to track down why, that's when you start running into all to, like, impossible for gamers to understand math formulas. It's like, come on. Just explain in normal English why you go east. Is it because that's the way the planet is turning? Or is that the opposite of the way the planet is turning? This is the tutorial ship. I don't know if they have explosive separators or not. I assume not. It looks like it's just a separator. And even here it looks... Okay. They want me to separate now. And maybe we can activate the... Okay. Maybe we can recover ourselves. The tutorial is add maneuver quickly. Do we have enough fuel for... We don't have enough fuel. I'm going to revert again. This is our educational launch. SAS on. Can we pre-activate this staged engine? It was literally firing rockets inside. Decouple. Well, that worked. It's rotation of the planet, but is it following the rotation? I don't know which way, because Kerbal isn't exactly Earth. It could be rotating a different direction than I... So it's at least... I believe it's going this way. The bright indicator is where it's going to go, right? Or is the bright indicator where it came from? These are the questions I ask. And there are no answers. Doing it again. Oh, start to pitch when you hit 60 meters a second. Cannot warp during this instance. Oh, in this entire scenario. Great. Okay. Hit space when it's time. And... keep following the target indicator. We're going to try to separate very quickly. It's not giving me like any time to read the one more time. And then we're just going to leave this tutorial because it is barely helping. SAS. Target. Don't worry about your throttle. We are in stage 5, and then we decouple. Stage 4. I'm not going to touch the throttle this time, because technically he told me not to. Activate. Okay. Now you can keep an eye on a trajectory while we track our future path. You hover over the AP node. You will notice that the estimated altitude, right-click to pin it so that it's always visible. We need to keep burning along the path until we clear the atmosphere by a handy margin. Aim for 80K. Cut the engines once the apoapsis hits 80 kilometers. But just because AP is 80 kilometers, we probably still get to do a second maneuver to correct the orbit, right? Maybe not. We'll see. Be nice to lock visibility on that, but okay. 70. Okay. That's going to get us there. I've made sure to, yep, you may notice speed dropping a little as we coast. That's nothing to be concerned about. It's just gravity. Meanwhile, keep an altitude display open so you can track your progress. Nope. So we just wait. Because our AP is going to be below 80K in a second. There is literally nothing happening. Will it let us speed up a little bit? No. Of course not. Why would we want to speed up time when I'm killed 3 minutes? When you lift off, your spacecraft has a velocity of approximately 1,000 miles an hour of rotational speed going from west to east. And that's because the planet itself is spinning that fast. So if you go with the rotation of the planet that you're on, you essentially pick up that speed for free when you're going into space. Press next when you're ready and we'll warp to the next burn. So that makes sense. But my non-rocket science brain is like, even if you're going straight up, your rocket was still rotating, right? Because that's where you started from. Like, if you go straight up and you always remain above the point that you launched, you are still rotating, right? But I guess you want to turn and then increase whatever. I kind of understand. If I think about it too hard, I don't understand. Rotate your craft to align with the prograde marker. Nope, not this one. Nope, not this one. This one. Technically, we're pitching it forward, right? Okay. When it's time to throttle up, he'll tell me. I'm learning a little bit about the SAS as well. It's not just stability assist. if you got a pilot who understands things, you can tell the pilot to, like, head in a particular direction. So it's, like, sort of autopilot. Throttle up. You're now officially in orbit. Well, what do you know? Didn't go straight to ludicrous speed. I understand that reference. Overpowering the ship is a common rookie mistake. And I think that's all I really needed. At this point, I kind of already knew that anyway. I think I want to do Orbiting 101, though. Because what I'm confused about next is we've got 3 Kerbals. Maybe I can create a maneuver here. So I know this is prograde. The green one is prograde. Retrograde. And then there's normal, anti-normal. And then I forget what these are. Target and something. No, radial in, radial out. And normal seems to, like, do that to your orbit. It'll, like, tilt it, for lack of a better term. But it also does something... It also is doing significantly more than tilting, because it's going wild now. I guess because even if you're tilting, you are also just accelerating in general, and you're going to leave orbit. So you've got to adjust it. You got to do multiple things to keep it in check. And this rotates it around like a hula hoop. Almost. I just completely wrecked. Can we delete that? Yes. This is the map view. Why, thank you, Gene Kerman. If you find yourself out of control, hit T to toggle SAS. Thank you. Stability assist just keeps me in the direction I'm pointed. Are you sending me into a tumble? I didn't do anything. I just put SAS on. Attitude control is an essential skill for a spacecraft pilot. Master it, and you'll be well on your way to becoming an expert pilot. You can try it again if you want. Let's try it again. Just because I had SAS. That's increasing rotational speed. Okay, that's increasing rotation. He won't touch it because of this learning curve. I played this many, many moons ago before it was on Steam. So it was before any expansion packs. I built a refueling space station, and I've been to the moon. That was many, many years ago. And poof, it's gone. Here I am going, no, what's the blue icon again? Prograde, retrograde, they point towards and away from your velocity vector, respectively. I mean, while that is technically true, that's not very helpful. Just radial in and out vectors, they point towards and away from the currently orbited body, so it increases the size of your orbit, the circumference of your orbit. Yes? Normal and anti-normal vectors, they are perpendicular to the orbital plane. They point upwards and downwards with respect to orbital plane, respectively. And that makes... calling it normals speaks to my, 3D, my computer science-y brain. Because a normal is what... it's like the face of your object. What we want to do now is go through some of the basic maneuvers you'll need to know. Let's try raising your apoapsis first. Press period to speed up time a little so we can get there faster. The best place to raise your apoapsis, which I assume is how to pronounce it, because I have never heard this word spoken to me in my life. The best place to raise AP, attack power, is at the periapsis, PE, physical education, which is the lowest point of your orbit. If you hover the mouse over the PE node, you'll see that we are going to reach it in a few minutes. Once there, we will face retrograde and burn. No, we will face retrograde right now. And I will let the pilots do that. Thank you. I mean, not gonna lie, this is gonna be a lot of the Kerbal's autopiloting. Time is now passing 5 times faster than normal. This time I'll put us back to normal speed about a minute before we reach periapsis. Start lowering the rate even earlier. You can also click on any given point in your orbit and click warp here. The ship's systems will automatically warp time as fast as possible. Time to do our burn. Turn the ship to face the prograde vector. Hold on. He told me to face retrograde first, didn't he? We are now turned prograde. Check SAS is engaged for you to keep her steady. Press Z key to accelerate at full throttle. Notice how the opposite side of your orbit increases. Cut thrust to 800 kilometers. 6, 7, 8. Well done! This is how you raise your apoapsis. With orbital maneuvers, pretty much everything you do will affect the opposite side of your orbit. So to raise the highest point, you must thrust forward or prograde at the lowest point. Similarly, to raise your periapsis, you thrust prograde at apoapsis. We are on our way to the apoapsis now, so let's do just that. We're on our way. Notice how your ship loses speed as we rise. That's because we're climbing away from the planet, so we lose speed as we go higher, just like a ball. The higher you are, the slower your orbit will be. Notice how the moon's orbital speed around... Now, hold on. What are you talking about? Slow down, so we're not, like... Woo! The higher you are, the slower your orbit will be. Moon's orbital speed is around 540. It's because our orbit is so much lower than that of the moon. When we reach AP, we will burn prograde again. To raise periapsis and circularize our orbit. It's only taken us an hour to learn orbital mechanics. Here we are, same as before. Turn your ship to face prograde. Fire up that engine. Eccentricity will be 0 when it's perfectly circular, so keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on what now? Down here? Advanced orbital mechanics, down here in the corner. I want to bring my eccentricity down as far as possible. I'm holding shift and it should like throttle up, but it's not. Okay. It's like too late, right? So we got to get back to AP and then boost to bring that up. Anyway. Orbital inclination is the angle between your orbit and Kerbin's equator. Like, I know what incline means, but there's inclination and declination, and that's where I tuned out of angular math. If you've managed to maintain a reasonable amount of control so far, we should still be at nearly 0 degrees inclination. We are at 0.1. That is, even though we've changed the altitude of our orbit, it still has the same inclination as before. Changing inclination is done by thrusting at a 90-degree angle to your prograde vector, but without changing your pitch relative to the surface. What? On our present nearly equatorial orbit, prograde is due east. That means to increase our inclination so that our orbit takes us to higher latitudes, we have to burn towards the normal direction. Oh, it all makes sense now. So north. Pretty ship. We have a solar panel, right? Yeah. If all that I just said made your head spin, yes. The nav ball once again comes to your rescue. In this case, you will need to use the normal vector to change your orbital inclination. Let's try that now. Turn the ship to the normal vector's direction. And open throttle. Notice how as you burn north, your orbit starts to tilt up on one side. But periapsis and apoapsis remain mostly the same. Because we are accelerated on a completely new direction, so this maneuver doesn't add or take away inner energy from the orbit, as long as we are careful. Thanks, tutorial. As long as we're careful to what? Keep in mind that changing inclination doesn't necessarily mean accelerating to the north or south. It means accelerating at right angles to your prograde vector, which on our nearly equatorial orbit also happen to be towards the north. So you got to keep your normal angle is going to change as your orbital inclination changes. Yes? Because you can't just go north. Because we should be slightly tilted now. Yeah. I'm learning a little bit. Is this interesting at all to watch? Probably not. Now let's look at the last essential maneuver you'll need to learn lowering your orbit: retrograde. Start that engine up. Yes, for precision. I was trying to be precise before. We need to bring it down to 20 kilometers. Whoops. We completely destroyed our orbit, but that's okay. We're done. End. All right. So now let's go back to our happy little, actually very unhappy. We have a mission in progress. Believe I've just like ruined everything, but that's what we were looking for. We're gonna reload again. We like changed our orbit. Load, quick save. That's retro. And full speed ahead. Nope. Okay, we're gonna do a couple things. So I read that the best time to like make a burn is take your burn time, cut it in half, so 10, 11 seconds, and that's when you want to start your burn. I don't know the math behind it, but we're going to do it. At 10 seconds, we will activate. Might not give us... I don't know. We'll see. It's kind of working, right? Because we wanted to keep AP in front of us at all times. Once more. I'm going to burn a little early because then we're going to kick off our boosters in rocket fuel. I mean, use our liquid engine. I'm going to burn soon. Now. As soon as the solid fuel booster is off, we drop it. Activate our engine. Well, we can't. Activate. Oh, we almost did it. I mean, I think it's impossible for us to actually do it, but I don't understand what these buttons are, though. Are we just adding nodes? It is good. Okay, we are in stage 2, right? Yes, so we went stage 1. It is so dark. It's good for Twitch compression, at least, I guess. Might as well keep locked retrograde. What we're going to do is try to land and take some sciencey measurements at least. So maybe we speed up at this point. It hit warp 1 because we transitioned into atmosphere, I think. I think we can speed it up again if we want, but it's so dark. I'm upside down. The music has stopped. We are re-entering. There we go. Yeah, it was cooking. Is it still cooking? It is kind of still cooking. This is a very long re-entry. C is actually cockpit view, so we can look around. We have reached air. What do they call it when you reach the point of you're not burning up? Risky to deploy. Safe to deploy. We'll deploy it at 10 kilometers. Mostly because our electric charge is going down quickly. I don't think the parachutes take power. But we're going to EVA in a new biome. Take some readings, do some science. Actually, I'm not sure. Yeah, we want to deploy at an altitude of... because we're a few hundred meters above sea level, so we want to make sure that the chutes deploy nice and quick like they did. Man, you know what? Turns out, a little reading after yesterday's game and a little tutorial before today's game, I think we're ready for some orbits. I think we can increase speed now. It warned me now that using warp breaks large ships. Well, I guess that's still a problem. 400 meters. 300. 200. Seven. 6. 5. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Boop. A nice, healthy boop. You can EVA. We are on the dirt, yes. No, wait. You can only read our scientific information. Oh, we don't have any science. Fine, crew report. Kerbin's grassland. Great. We learned nothing. Let go. EVA. Port. So this whole trip was worth nothing. Bored. At least we're done. Tracking station. Recover. We got 1.3 science. Okay. I am fairly certain we can reach the moon. We're going to fast forward time to daylight next time. So this is the monstrosity. Okay, we're starting over. I think we have the technology to do what we want. It's going to cost a pretty penny, but that's okay. We can spray paint our fuel tank. Putting 4 fuel tanks and this guy because it's the gimbal engine, so it'll give us a little directionality. Do we want one more? I like 5. 5 is a good number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How much fuel is that? Liquid fuel 90, oxidizer 110, so it's a total of, does that go together? 200 fuel. Because the problem is, we need the ability to, like, move around. You know what? I think we're going to do that. 2 fuel tanks with an engine. Just to give us a small bit of maneuverability in orbit. And then we have probably 4. And then we have our solid rocket boosters with some of these. Where is the hatch? So here is the side of the ship. I feel like we want to put these. So these are just gonna, I don't think they blast. Small explosive charge. Ejection force. So it does have some, well, ejection force. That's pretty even. Put some nose cones on for structural aerodynamic. Boop. I mean, not gonna lie, I kind of want it down farther, but I don't think we can do it. I don't want the tanks to smack the rocket. Winglet. Nothing is really known about this thing. Use it at your own risk. What? Found lying by the side of the road. It's more expensive than Jebediah Kerman's Junkyard and Spacecraft Parts Co. Relative wing area. I'm kind of shamelessly ripping off. Hello? It's like flat out refusing to give me what I want. One, two. And then... Nope. One, two. Is that gonna work? I feel like it needs to go up a little higher, so I'm gonna do that. Is it gonna work? No idea. This is Booster Mark II. Booster 2. We need some science-y equipment. Oh, we need to, like, set up the stages very properly. So we've got the 2 main boosters, and then separate. More than that, though, we immediately want to engage the engine on separation. So stage 5 boost, and then immediately separate and ignite. No. Both engines go. All engines go. And then we separate these as soon as they're dead. But technically the liquid fuel should last a little longer. And then we separate it. And then our main engine that we're going to use in orbit, hopefully, will kick on. And then we have a decoupler for that when we run out of fuel. And then parachute. Now for the sciencey bits. Robots, coupling, thermal. We have a heat shield, electrical. We probably want some of that. Communication. Why not? We only need one. We don't want to block our escape hatch for any reason. Does that need to expand? It might not. Maybe we would like that. Less interaction on our part. Science. Experiment storage unit. After discovering that old snack boxes were also really effective at storing mystery goo and data tapes, Kerbal scientists created the experiment storage unit to help Kerbalnauts bring their valuable science back to Kerbin, while avoiding the hazards of re-entry, rough landings, and Jeb's piloting skills. SC9001 is cutting edge, self-contained laboratory. Have you ever wondered what happens to something in zero G, or have you ever pondered the true, meaningful questions? Cleanup requires electric charge. I don't think we need these at the moment, but we are going to put on our favorite thermometer. Wait, how much does a goo container weigh? See, the problem is balancing. We can't put things on the hatch. Mass 0.005. 0.005. 0.05. What's this mass? We're going to get into some 0.015. I'm sure it will matter, but I don't care that much. Whoops. We'll just put a thermometer here and a barometer here, because they will sort of they'll at least cancel each other out. And then a goo container. Cover the flag with goo. Now, hopefully, this rocket can get us into stable orbit. Oh, we have a fan that is not exactly... Okay. There we go. Maybe not pixel perfect, but good enough. Alright, Jeb. Let's see. Oh, I want to speed up. There should be a thing here to, like, advance time to warp to sunrise. Da-da-da! Save. Booster 2, 28 parts in 6 stages. Launch. Maybe. Fingers crossed. Which way's east? This way. Okay. I think we can rotate our ship, right? We just need to... That way we don't need to, like, rotate. We can just pitch. Or... Yeah, this is... I kind of understand roll, pitch, yaw. But... Yeah. So this will just let us kind of lean over this way. Or, you know, opposite, because it's a webcam. This way. Lean this direction. Go east. Alright. Make sure that the, our stage 4, it doesn't have a whole lot of, velocity. I found out that TWR is thrust to weight ratio. Can't help but notice this says the liquid fuel is going to burn for 16 seconds. But that might be after we decouple. So it's going to burn for 42 seconds and also 16 seconds. Yeah, that makes sense because the 2 fuel tanks in stage 2 will last for 30 seconds of burn, and they're the same fuel tanks and same engine as down here with 4 fuel tanks. So, yeah, these are combined. I feel like I'm a little more on top of the game today, which, uh-oh. We lost a fin. Boy, do we need to, like, bring in some, you know, role play almost. It's like, all right, we got to wheel the ship out to the launch pad. We got to, whoops, not, didn't mean to do that. Can we cancel the mission? Can we stop? I guess we canceled it technically. Maybe not. I guess we'll find out. I don't understand the controls here. Look, I just want to go down. Which is just the scroll wheel. It's not pixel perfect anymore, is it? A little bit higher compared to the other one. Just a hair. Alright. Save it. Launch it. I guess. I don't know. The ship was still out there. The old one was still out there. Alright. We have 2 fins. I think we finally ready to give this a shot. What was I saying about... I don't forget how far I got into saying... I feel a little more on top of my game today. I didn't have to think so hard at work today, so I have reserved some brain power for rocket science. I'm just giving it a look over. It looks not half bad. What does it look like from inside? Upside down. All right, well, I guess we're gonna find out what happens. So once we get to around 100 meters a second, we want to start aiming east, which is this way. But I believe on my keyboard it's just D. No, it looks like W. Pitch. SAS on. Here we go. It's not working very well. Like I'm trying to pitch and it won't. Well, that's a mistake. I didn't have fuel active. Let's just see. So we can turn a little bit. That's turning a lot. Whee! Revert to the launch. I think it's because we don't have any... Oh... Right, the ship had, like, RCS thrusters with a RCS fuel pack, so we don't have that. We do have reaction wheels. Maybe we put that on. Revert flight to the vehicle assembly. We do have wheels, right? No? Do we not have reaction wheels? I thought we did. What is it called? Maybe we didn't unlock it yet. Coupling, payload, aerodynamics, ground, thermal, electrical, comm, science utility. We did not unlock it. I'm going to see if we can do that real quick. How much science do we have at our fingertips? Advanced rocketry. Starshot. Crew cabin strut connector. Ah, yes. A whole flag plate. That's cool. This one. Small inline reaction wheel. It gives us some torque. Requires electric charge 0.3 per second. Please do not attempt to service this device while it is running. I think I want it. We have enough science. I'm going to research it. I did it. There's no going back now. Where do we want that? Probably want it right here. Reaction wheel. Wow. It is the tiniest. It's not useful at all. What? Will it work? That just looks horrible. Maybe it'll work. It's not a true Kerbal creation. If it doesn't look crazy. Like, it should be fine, right? There's not going to be a lot of stress up there. Well, I'll say S on. You're going to attempt. Okay, I'm going to have throttle on all the way this time. Or actually, maybe let's try it without. I'll just have to make sure to throttle up. Once the dry engines are... Don't know. Now I'm just going to do it. Throttle up. Here we go. Which way's Okay. So I use my W key to go east. Nice, nice. We are coming a little undone, but okay. It'd be nice to get to 90 degrees. Not too crazy, but we're at 45 degrees. We are... Nice. We definitely need to go a little farther. Had a maneuver, and we do it. AP 200K, periapsis. Nope. We're okay. We got an empty fuel container, but ooh. Burn time 30 seconds. Maybe not. Burn time 15 seconds. I don't want to use up all the fuel. I don't think we're going to be able to... We want to be at 200,000? Yeah. Okay, get rid of that. What is that? No. How did that get there, and why can I not delete it? 5-second burn time. We might be able to do it. Still don't have... We have to make sure that we don't... Why do we have all these little maneuvers that I can't delete? Delete? Why is it control locked? Ooh. We have an orbit. I think. And I think we can just retrograde at any time and just like get back. Because we are still ascending. So we need to make a full orbit. Time to take some temperature readings. It's as if it were in a vacuum. Keep that experiment. Log temperature. Observe goo. I mean, I think we've achieved orbit. And we may, in fact, have enough fuel to return. I think we just speed it up and go around the planet. So the bright is where we came from. We have no signal to Kerbal. Why did it de-warp me? Just because we're approaching periapsis? Hey. Or is it because we're in atmosphere? Is this not technically a stable orbit because we are below 70? I don't know why we didn't get our achieve orbit Kerbin. We did. We literally just did. All right, so to safely land, the fastest thing to do is just deorbit, like, by which I mean we fire retrograde at our highest point, and it'll bring down our lowest point, right? So we just warp here. I think we need a little more fuel, for sure. Speed it up, please. If worst comes to worst, because this is technically in atmosphere, we can just orbit over and over and over and slow down until it just gravity pulls us down. Warp. Warp, please. Warp, 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 warp. Warp here. It's not wanting to... You must still be dragging through the atmosphere? No? We still have electric charge. Hello? Why are you not spinning? Oh, because I was warping. Where's retrograde? There you are. Warp. We'll want to fire the engines as close to AP as possible in retrograde, because we would rather collapse our orbit and recover our Kerbal than stabilize our orbit and have to do a rescue mission. We will fire our engines for all of 2 seconds. In 40 seconds. $20 seconds. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Orbit collapsed. Oh, we'll be landing on the shore in the dark. Are we landing in the water or on the, We might be landing in the water. We can eject this now. Bye-bye! It didn't alter our trajectory at all, did it? No, maybe a little. All right, now we just, I haven't even looked at, like, Jeb. Look at his face. He is thrilled. I mean, hopefully we get our credit for orbiting once we make a successful landing. All right, we've hit atmosphere, it seems. So as long as we have the heat shield facing in the correct direction, we should be good. There she is. The moon. We are absolutely getting to the moon. Don't burn up. We'll be fine. The ablator is the heat shield, at least the part that gets damaged while it's re-entering. Don't know what parts are getting damaged. Is it the batteries? Whee! We are landing right in the bay of wherever this is. Pin the parachute, unsafe to deploy. I don't want ocean level. Although ocean and ground level is the same when you are above the ocean. Actually, I think I want to land on the beach, so I might deploy the chute. Where are we going to land? Oh. Unfortunately, we are landing in the water. There's nothing we can do about that now. Maybe he can swim to the beach? Can he EVA in the water without drowning? Ah! Booster debris. That's a long way to swim. I'm not going to put him through that. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Splash down! Congratulations. Wait, Valentina? Well, how did you get on here? Whatever, I guess you... You kind of look like Jeb. I thought you were Jeb. Kerbin's water. Can you EVA in Kerbin's water? EVA report. It worked. Can you claim the goo from here? You can. You can repack the parachute? Board. Perfect. Tracking station. It was an hour and a half of a mission. Recover vessel. 22 science earned. 3,000 funds recovered from parts. No reputation. So tell me, what does it take to orbit by a vessel up and out of the atmosphere and accelerate parallel to the surface until you are in a stable orbit? We need to achieve a stable orbit around Kerbal. All you need to do is throw yourself at the ground and miss. I I feel like we could do it. Maybe let's try it one more time with a bigger rocket. Because we ran out of fuel. Because we had to use... we had to use our stage. Yeah, we had to use our final stage for rocketing. I'm gonna try something. We need to tilt more, and also I'm not going to use the first leg of the fuel jet. We're going to boost first and get as far as we can on the solid fuel, and then ignite the 4 fuel liquid jet, and then we should have the 2 fuel liquid jet. But who knows? We shall attempt once more with the same ship, different tactics, and go. Once we reach 100 meters a second, we are achieving some movement without the gimbal engine. It might be good enough. Nope, just get us 90 degrees, please. Straight east. We might have a much better orbit. Maybe not. Add a maneuver. We need to jettison that anyway. We want it to be at about 100. We only have 29 seconds of fuel. It's going to be close again. So we will boost 10 seconds to the node for 23 seconds. And go. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cut engines. I don't know what's going on with the camera. Wow, our AP is a lot higher. All right, so add maneuver up here. No, Why? I just no. It's like it remembers the old whatever. Add a maneuver here. 172. Periapsis. That might... We would only have a burn time of 1 second. And we have 10 seconds of fuel left. So I think this is a stable orbit once we get up here. And that might be where we... I was going to say that might be where we stop, but it'd be nice to just land and recover. We have a node in 9 minutes. Let's warp. Warp here. I'm nosing it up. There you are. We need to put some lights on this thing. We have a burn in 45 seconds. Just make sure we are pointed pro grade. $30 seconds for a 1 second burn. We want our actual periapsis to be around 171 kilometers. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh. Good enough. Now that should be a stable orbit if I can get rid of this. Why does it say control locked? I've achieved goal! We've unlocked it! What control is locking it? Stop it! Nice. We've done it. We've done it, y'all. We cannot EVA. We haven't trained our astronauts how to EVA. Our Kerbal knots. My bad. It certainly doesn't matter that we are, we've already, like, done our science. Cannot disembark while off Kerbal surface. Astronaut complex upgrade required. All right, well, what we do at this point is once we reach Apoapsis again, we retrograde. And then just splash down wherever, I guess. You know what? Let's try to land in the desert. We will add a maneuver. We're going to have some drag. So we're not going to land near the airfield, but we're going to try to land in the desert. I'm going to boost it out a bit. Let's aim for the water, and I'm pretty sure we're just going to end up on the beach. Yeah, because I'm trying to like eyeball, because we were trying to aim for, we can't even see it. We were trying to aim for the bay, right? And we undershot by quite a lot. So that's prograde. Retro. Whoops, overshot. Lining it up is delicate work with spinning wheels. Okay. We do a 3-second burn to aim for the bay. We'll get there in 6 minutes. Four, 3, 2, 1. Where did retrograde go? Hello? There it is. We have a 3-second burn in 50 seconds. Mark. "30 seconds. It's a waiting game when you get down under a minute because you don't want to speed up. You'll miss the maneuver. 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That should have done it. We may slow down just a little. Okay. Now we just wait. Is it because I right-clicked it and like made it? I'm going to try this. Add a maneuver, and then you right-click it. Can you delete it? But then No. Guess you can't delete a maneuver when you're on top of it. That's the only idea that I've got. All right, so I've frozen the maneuver. So if I left click it and delete it, okay, then I don't know anymore. Why is there a green line? Is that just to the... Is that line of sight communication? Because it seems to be pointing through the Earth to Kerbal Space Center. Oh, she should at least do a crew report. Doesn't matter. We'll get no science out of that. Okay. Nope. So we hopefully will land in the desert and then have some science. And then call it a day. Or call it a week, actually. Where's our altitude? There we go. I mean, really, we just, there's nothing to it. I guess we just, separate now, right? Goodbye, engine. You served us well. Ugh. Where is... There we go. Pointed retrograde so we don't burn up. She's one happy Kerbal. Nice. Yeah, there's no way we don't hit the desert, so that's good. The booster ought to blow here. So far, we've been kind of lucky because we separate and then the fuel, you know, the booster always blows up somewhere near us. And it's just been pure chance that it doesn't land on top of us. Oh, we might even luck out and land on the mountain. Nope, never mind. I don't know what those bars are. It must be the batteries, like, cooking. I mean, the antenna array seems fine. All right. We have done the unthinkable. We started on day one, and it's like how I make explodey stick. And now we have successfully... Ooh, look at those textures. You couldn't have applied some sort of smoothing at this altitude? Anyway, but we made a stable orbit. In 3 days? 6 hours. It's easy when it's like 2 hours a day, 3 days a week. But we can't just straight up recover this mission. We have to do some science in the desert so we can at least make this trip worth our while. Goodbye, booster. Can we hear it? I think it's gone. I think for once we did not hear it explode in our ear. Never mind. Oh. Yeah, we want ground level, not ocean level. 2, 1, and ta-da! All right, crew report in the desert. Temperature report in the desert. Barometer report in the desert. And goo observation in the desert. The goo seems to hate it here. Well, too bad. EVA. EVA report in the desert. And we gotta go collect our goo. I think we can collect the goo just from standing on the hatch, but da-da-da! Successful, stable orbit. We sent it. It would have been Jeb, but Valentina snuck aboard. Probably wrenched Jeb in the back of the head. Threw him into a locker and then stowed away in his spacesuit, and nobody caught on. And it's fine. So we'll probably use her from now on. Oh, I think the moon trip is going to be the classic 3-person if they have one. Surely they have a module with 3. Yeah, because one of these we had like 3 people, 3 Kerbals. Recover vessel. We earned 22 science. Fine. So we got 66 science to spend. And she leveled up. Total reputation 100. Sorry, Jeb. You've been sidelined. We need to upgrade the astronaut complex. We'll do that right now. Kerbals can EVA. No, they can EVA in space, so that would give us an extra thing to do once we're in orbit. They can leave the ship and just be like, it's space! And then climb back in. Upgrade. Whoops. Oh, what'd we get for... We got 6 science, 10 rep. Some money. Okay, so I guess next time we can, like, knock these out a little easier now that we know what we're doing. Like, they want us to test a decoupler, like, 500 kilometers. We haven't even been that high yet. I haven't, like, adjusted my mind for, like, the distances. We only... Our orbit, our stable orbit, was only 100 kilometers. Yeah, and our unstable orbit was like 60 kilometers. So we haven't even been that high. And then this one, 40 kilometers. Yeah, we'll just have to use the little heat shield at some point. This one's going to be difficult, though. The experiment with the chute. We might have to abandon that. It's not going to be terrible. Wow. Well, we have 4 years to maybe not care about that. Anyway, that's the end of that. Quit to main menu. All right. Well, I was thinking about if we didn't make much progress, if we were still stuck, maybe revisit, like, not do this next week, like take a break and then come back. But I think we made enough progress this time that we're going to try. Maybe we can try an unmanned mission to the moon. That seems ambitious. It's like, we need to unlock electrics, and then we have a solar panel, and then we can put a probe in orbit around the moon. I feel like that's the next goal before sending an actual living Kerbal to the moon. But that's for next week. I'm trying to think. Next Monday is an American holiday, but that's not a stream day, so I don't want to make any promises that I'll stream on Monday, so I'm not gonna. So don't expect it, because honestly, I'll probably just be a lazy butt. But I'll see you later. There's a bug. Wonderful. The bugs are coming in. All right. Well, I'll see you later. Yeah. Time for me to... I'm still doing my video test. I keep lowering the quality of a recording a little bit each time. And I haven't seen any quality drop off yet. But we went from No Man's Sky, 40 gigabyte files for 2 hours. Then we switched to Kerbal. And then it was like 2 gigabytes per hour. Or 2 gigabytes for 2 hours. So 1 gig an hour. And that's just because Kerbal is mostly the same. Right? You're sitting on a screen that's mostly the same for so long. It's super easy to compress. But anyway. At least I think I've got my microphone set to where I want. Like, I followed some guidance on how to set things up, and then I just got tired of trying to like make that work. So I kind of took it a step further. And now I think my voice is pretty on par with other like really good setups I've seen on Twitch, like where they have the, you know, the fancy, is it the Shure SM7B? You know, that fancy one. It's got like the foam pointing at the mouth, and then it's got like the cable that's comes off the base of it. It's the really expensive $500 microphone everybody gravitates toward. So I am on par, not quality wise, but volume wise, which is important, I think. But as long as Windows doesn't screw with my settings. It hasn't recently, but now that means it will on Tuesday. So I'll see you on Tuesday, and hopefully nothing's changed as far as volume.